In the year 2009, the economy dropped, and there was a huge recession, because of which my mother lost her job. Suddenly, within just 3 months, my whole life turned upside down. It breaks my mother's heart recalling me just shivering uncontrollably, trying to endure the water when bathing. I was 8 years old, and I didn't even know how I felt about all this. I dreamt often of getting my family out of this turmoil, and I absolutely yearned for the day I would be able to provide for my mom. My mom started homeschooling me, and it was all very new to me. Studying at home with my mom and not at school with my friends. During one of my first math lessons, something very interesting happened. Eventually, I found myself standing in the kitchen, not baking or cooking, but making soaps. I actually remember my first order. It was a custom order, and it was for 80 butterfly soaps for a baby shower. And I charged just $40. It was the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. I felt such joy after selling something I had made. When checking the mail one afternoon, I noticed I had received an envelope from the White House. Every morning before I went to school, my mother would insist that no matter what I did, I got breakfast and lunch at the cafeteria. School was normally my only source of food. Could not guarantee that there would be any food when I got back home. Hey everyone, I'm Donovan Smith. I'm here to tell you the importance of not giving up on your dreams. My life was great. We lived in a large house, I had my own bedroom, a great neighborhood, cool friends, and I went to a great school. I had a comfortable life. My mother worked as a manager in the hospitality field, and it seems as though things were going pretty well for us. In the year 2009, the economy dropped, and there was a huge recession, because of which my mother lost her job. Suddenly, within just 3 months, my whole life turned upside down. We ended up moving to a room above a garage with no heat or electricity. Things only got worse from there, and soon we were rendered homeless. We ended up moving to a homeless shelter, fitting all of our belongings into just 2 duffel bags. During the colder months of living above the garage, the water pipes would become bitter cold, including the running water, which meant every single morning we would have to endure a piercing cold shower. It breaks my mother's heart recalling me just shivering uncontrollably, trying to endure the water when bathing. I was 8 years old, and I didn't even know how I felt about all this. I could only understand the gravity of the situation when I looked at my mom and could see her helplessness. But I was grateful she was there looking out for me. After 6 months of living in the shelter, things started to get better. My mom got back up on her feet, and we were able to move into a small apartment. The new place was a studio apartment, and at the time it kind of reminded me of a hotel room. No bedrooms, just everything out in the open. But it was clean and new. Our beds were in what would be considered our living room. It wasn't as comfortable as before, but it was better than being homeless. I had 2 older siblings, and being separated from them of course only made things harder. We went from having everything to suddenly having nothing at all. And now it was time to rebuild our life. I dreamt often of getting my family out of this turmoil. And I absolutely yearned for the day I would be able to provide for my mom. Of course we couldn't afford the life we had earlier, but I still had to be educated. So my mom started homeschooling me, and it was all very new to me. Studying at home with my mom and not at school with my friends, but we both were trying to get adjusted to our new reality. During one of my first math lessons, something very interesting happened. Today we're going to be studying at the kitchen. As I walked into the kitchen, it smelled of many different oils and strong chemicals, and there were all these things on the kitchen table. On the table, there are things such as castor oil, coconut oil, red palm oil, lye, and more. I thought this was a pretty strange way of teaching me measurements. Little did I know I was going to learn how to be making soap as my first math and science lesson. After an hour or so, I had made my first dozen of what I called my sunshine soaps. I was pretty excited, and I couldn't wait to make more. Eventually, I found myself standing in the kitchen, not baking or cooking, but making soaps. My mother was proud of me and encouraged my creativity by buying me more supplies, such as bowls, molds, coconut oil, olive oil, goat's milk, aloe vera, lemon, and eucalyptus extracts, and whatnot. And after a year or so, I felt confident enough to start selling my soap creations. I actually remember my first order. It was a custom order, and it was for 80 butterfly soaps for a baby shower. And I charged just $40. It was the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. I felt such joy after selling something I had made, I can't even explain in words. And while doing that, I wanted to do some good with my new soap making skill. So, 50% of my sales from my business went to the organization that helped me and my mother get out of homelessness. Because that time was really tough for both of us, and I didn't want anyone to suffer the same fate as we had overcome. I made a variety of soaps. A friend of mine who worked for a local shelter said they were running low on soaps, so I created a one-time single-use soap called Shelter Soaps. I have made and donated over 22,000 soaps since that moment for the homeless. When checking the mail one afternoon, I noticed I had received an envelope from the White House, and to my surprise, it was a letter from First Lady Michelle Obama. 4 days later, another envelope arrived, but this time it was from our President of the United States, Barack Obama. They were both writing to congratulate me on my work for helping the homeless. To be recognized and appreciated by your president easily made that one of the happiest days of my life. I felt honored and promised myself that I would do what I can, no matter what, to make a difference. I was 14 years old and had already made and donated over 10,000 soaps to that shelter, and had also given thousands of dollars in supplies to those in need. Since then, I've been on numerous national and international newspapers. I've been recognized by my mayor, governor, congresswoman, and president. I was given a retail store from Facebook show Returning the Favor, which I then took the opportunity to hire only the homeless. These days, I'm deciding on going to college. I'm working on growing food to help local food banks, and I'm focusing more on food insecurity in our communities. I would like to tell each one of you that things do get better, no matter what you're going through. We all have tough moments in our lives. Life has its highs and then its lows. That's just life. I never thought I would become homeless. And when I became homeless, I wouldn't think things would get better for us. But I'm here to tell you that things do eventually get better. I would just like to tell you, try to keep a positive attitude, work hard, and try to put good out into the world, and good will come back to you. Good luck, and thanks.
Tell us what you think about this video, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.